This is actually pretty cool what he does. This is kind of a cool thing. Has to do with speaking and story, so it worked out good. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Rockstar stage, J. Loren Norris.
Oh, sure. I need a volunteer.
He needs a volunteer.
A volunteer who wants to stand up here with me, tell a story real quick. Who hasn't been on the stage yet? I want to give an opportunity to somebody who hasn't been up here.
Right here, do Dan.
Okay, Dan.
Do Dan. That's good.
So I was standing in my living room. You can just have a seat right there for 1 second. I was standing in my living room, and I hear, "That's not fair!" And right behind that, I hear this crash, a disastrous kind of sounding crash. You know the kind. Makes Dad jump up and go, "What just happened?" So I run into the other room, and when I get in the other room, I see all of the little boys, they're 12 to 14 years old, staring at the ground and a million pieces of the Xbox 360 wireless controller with headset. Now, I bought this gaming device because I do leadership training and I own an AV company, and part of what we do is a rock band contest for a leadership development course. And so that's what I bought the thing for, which means it only came with one controller, but the teenage boys were determined to play with the kids down the street. So my 12-year-old son saved up all summer and he bought his own wireless with headset controller. Then he invited his 12-year-old friend over. And when his friend lost the game, he threw the new wireless device on the floor and shattered it. And my son learned a hard lesson that day. Nobody cares about your stuff like you care about your stuff. Nobody cares about your relationship like you care about your relationship. Nobody cares about your business like you care about your business. Your banking, your taxes, your marriage, your children, your time off, your travel, no one cares about that like you do. Mind your business. But I learned a lesson as well. And that is, there is no price to stuff worth more than a relationship. What I'm going to demonstrate to you is what I teach in a 7-hour course. And that is how to take not your monologue, not your soliloquy, but an incident, a moment in life. How many of you caught that the time frame of that device crashing to the floor was like a minute? It became a 2-minute story, but there's 5 or 6 calls to action behind that story, right? Did you catch that? All of you have lived a life. You've had tragedy, you've had successes. Some of you have walked through the fires of hell and come out carrying a bucket of water for somebody else that's about to go through it. Am I right? But it's not the soliloquy, it's not the monologue, it's not the story arc and all that other stuff that is a teachable moment. When we live in a TikTok world, Harry Potter novel answers don't work. Go back and look at your Facebook, your Twitter, your TikTok, and here's what you're going to find. The 30-second reels have 90,000 views, and the 5-minute reels have 30. Because we're raising a generation of people with a time attention span about this big. Dan, I'm going to ask you, first off, what is your greatest call to action? What's going to benefit you and your business the most?
My military experience.
No, what do you want me to do? Sign up, join, buy, book you to speak? What is it? Book you to speak. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, forget about your military experience. I don't want you to sell your business. I want you to tell me about an event from your life. Now, I'm going to start a timer. When you all hear this timer go off, everybody in the room is going to start clapping as loud as you can. I don't care if he's done. 2 minutes. You tell me any story you want to, and what I'm going to do is take your story, shove it through my sausage grinder of a method, put your call to action on the end of your story. You don't have to do the call to action. Just tell me about an event in your life. And in 2 minutes, I'm going to tell it back to you. I recommend, if there's anybody with you, that they record it, because it will never happen the same way twice. I put it through the method, and what comes out the other end is a whole different thing every time. And every time somebody walks off stage and goes, "God, did you record that?" Nadia already left because she asked me after we had dinner last night. She's like, I hope you recorded that. Where's Todd? You can testify to that, right? Right? She said, did you record that? Because I want it. Will you say it again? I'm like, I can't. So, this is your chance. Looks like she's recording. Good. So, are you ready? 2 minutes. Stay right there. That's great.
Roger that.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Spangler, and the story I'm going to tell you is about my military time. When I was in Iraq in 2003, again, I jumped off a truck. Did not know what was going to happen after that during a firefight. And when I did, it changed my life. I ended up putting my femur through my pelvic bone and ended up being medically retired from the Marine Corps. But one of the things it did for me was bring together the brotherhood that the Marine Corps has. And that's one of the things I live by today. And when I'm out with my Marine brothers and fellow veterans, I talk a different way. It brings out the best in me and the best in them. And one of the things I bring to the speaking community and want to bring to all of you is about that experience and that change that the military does. Now, not everybody's been in the military, but that experience, that story has changed me, and I want to make sure I bring it to you. For everybody here in the room, you can take some of the terrible things that's happened to you and put it into a glass jar and show it off to everyone. But when you take it out of that glass jar and use it as experience to teach others, that's what I'm doing. The story that this happened when I jumped off the truck and put my femur through my pelvic bone, it was traumatic. I came back to the States and I adopted a dog, and his name is Spanky. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago because of kidney failure. But what I realized was when I came back is he actually saved my life. And I've made it my mission today to bring that out to the world today and talk about how dogs have helped other veterans and people in general save their own lives. And so when I speak, I talk about the care that dog brings to me and still brings to me and helps me move forward with my life and bringing my help to others and bringing their lives forward just through the help of animals. And so that's what I do. That's what I speak about. Thank you.
You have 8 seconds left. Have a seat. How many of you just heard an incredible elevator pitch? Raise your hand if that was a great elevator pitch. Okay. I'm not going to give you an elevator pitch. I'm going to give you a story. I'm going to take your facts and weave them into a story. Same 2-minute timer. When you hear beep, start clapping. When I hit the ground, the pain went from my ankles to the top of my head. The femur bone went through my hip. Talk about a day that changes your life. But see, I look back now and I realize I was in what they call the hell of war, the fog of war, that nightmare that you go through, and nobody else really understands it until they experience it. Now, there's a power in that, and there's an anxiety in that, and the power is, I've been there, I understand what you're going through. I can see the pain in your face, I feel the trembling in your voice, but I need you to know something, just like the rest of the guys in that Humvee. You are not alone. Now, you're going to come back to a different world. You're going to have the physical pain. You're going to have the emotional pain. You're going to have the fear and the anxiety of those people that you left behind. I deal with it every day. Here's my promise to you. Just my little dog, even though he's gone now, he died of kidney problems. But just like my little dog was there beside me through all the anxiety and all of the stress and all of the struggle, I had a friend that I could count on. Like a brother, only without the fighting. And my commitment to you, whether I'm standing on your stage or I'm coaching you in your living room or we're sitting at the bar having a Diet Coke and a beer, I know where you've been. And I also know what could be next for you. And my job is to walk you through that. I will hope that you would consider me as a speaker at your next event or as a coach to help you walk through this journey. Because I've been where you've been, and I know where you could be.
Wow. That was really good. We clap again.
Time's up. Okay, so real short, I have a table right back there. My in-the-show offer is I will record you and me doing your story so that you have it to play with and manipulate as many times as you want to. I'll do that before you leave today if you want, or even tomorrow morning. The other is I'm doing a 7-hour workshop a week from today in McKinney, Texas. There's a special offer back there on the table for those only at this event. If you want to be a part of that, please do. I would love to help you tell your story better. The 7-hour course is probably the most intense thing you've ever been through emotionally, coaching-wise. If you don't believe that, ask Laurel. She's been a coaching client. We've walked through her speech over about 4 months, and many of our sessions, she cried before it was over, but when she was done, she has an award-winning speech that people keep asking her to deliver because it comes from the heart and it connects with the heart. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For
That
giving
was
your
great.
stage.
Here, let me hold that until you turn this back on. That was